Hi, I'm Quentin. Today I'm going to be talking about everyone running as a Democrat as well as the biggest person running as a independent, and I'm going to be sharing some opinions and, laying out the facts for you. So first, I'm going to do the Democrats, and first off, we've got Joe Biden. Joe Biden was born on November 20th of 1942 and is currently the oldest person to ever serve as president of the United States. He has a long history in politics, serving as senator of Delaware from 1972 to 2008, getting around 60% of the vote every time. Ironically, when he became senator, he was among the youngest to ever serve at only 30 years old. Even though running as a Democrat for the entirety of his life, Biden is basically conservative. In 1974, he describes himself as a liberal on things like civil rights, which in my opinion was a bold-faced lie, and a conservative on other things like abortion or military spending. In the 1970s, a hot-button issue was race integration busing, which was basically having students go to schools that weren't the closest school to where they lived to increase diversity. Biden was in strong opposition to this. He even proposed banning busing altogether. And he also supported a measure that would not give schools federal funding to bus in students who had a closer school they could attend. Throughout his career as senator, Biden has backed some okay things like the Violence Against Women Act, but an overwhelming majority of bad things like the Clinton crime bill, or saying that homosexuality had no place in the military. In 2009 to 2017, he served as Obama's vice president. In 2020, he ran for president and won. Today, Biden is considered a moderate or center-left. Conservatives will tell you otherwise, but that's definitely what he is. He's not some radical communist Marxist like conservatives may claim. He's the most center-of-the-road guy ever. He supports raising the corporate tax from 21% to 28%, which is still worse than the 35% that we used to have before the Tax Cuts and Job Act of 2017. It should be much higher in my opinion, but that's a topic for another day. He has supported same-sex marriage since 2012. He says that there must be action taken on global warming, and he says that we need to get tough on China. He supports the two-state solution to the Israel and Palestine border crisis. He's the first president to recognize the Armenian genocide. Finally, he criticizes Republicans for abolishing Roe v. Wade. Biden has also supported the war in Ukraine and has sent lots of money there for aid. As much as I am a globalist, I believe that the billions of dollars he sent could have been spent on better things, like not war for one. Should you vote for Biden? In my opinion, the answer is a clear no. It's pretty clear to me that he's very old and likely has dementia, just as Reagan did during his presidency. And I doubt that he's making many decisions for himself, as much as it makes me sound like a conservative to say that. So no, in my opinion, you should not vote for Biden. Just so you know, I'm not going to be talking about everyone in this much length. I'm only talking about Biden this much because he's like one of the big two, Alright, so next up, we've got Maryanne Williamson. She's someone that I don't know too much about, so I'm not really going to be sharing too many opinions. I'm just kind of going to be laying out the facts here for you. So first off, it's kind of weird. She used to be a self-help author. So take that as you will. I wouldn't really say that's a good sign, but so I'm going to start here. She believes there should be $200 to $500 billion paid in reparations for slavery. She does not support open borders, but believes we should have a more humane approach. Similar to RFK Jr., who I'll talk about later, she's very critical of the medical industry and has adopted lots of anti-vax aesthetics. She also supports Medicare for all, but for whatever reason believes there should be religion in hospitals because it will apparently help people get better faster. So take that as you will. And also, while she does support Medicare for all, she also says that private insurance should continue, which is weird, but whatever. She's big into religion and spirituality. She describes herself as spiritual but not religious. She says, quote, "Religion is the map where the destination is important but not as important as the route," end quote. Finally, she supports $15 minimum wage. Should you vote for it? Honestly, I don't really have much of an opinion. I'm leaning towards no, but also I don't like any politicians. Also, you should take everything I say with a grain of salt because I'm a biased person just as you're a biased person. So finally, I'm going to be talking about the one major independent. So we've got RFK Jr. I've got some opinions on this guy. So first off, as you can tell by his name, RFK Jr. is actually the nephew of former President JFK. Here's how his voice sounds.
But the good news is that people...
Kind of weird. He's got this thing called spasmodic dysphonia, which is basically just the result of spasms in his vocal cords. So I'm going to start by talking about the upsides of RFK Jr. First off, he's very much for the middle class and believes the middle class is being destroyed by billionaires and that this is a bad thing that needs to be fixed. He believes the middle class is the backbone to American society, which in my opinion is very true and overall a good take. He's a former environmental lawyer and talks about climate crisis a lot. He supports AOC's Green New Deal and is very outspoken against geoengineering. He's also very outspoken against the military-industrial complex. Now I'll get into some of the more controversial things he's associated. He's very much an anti-vaxxer. He was an early proponent of the theory that vaccines cause autism. He says that public health authorities want to poison the children of this generation, which is kind of crazy, I'll be honest. There's a lot more to say about his anti-vax opinions, but I don't really want to talk more about them, so I'm not going to. Finally, he believes in a lot of weird conspiracies. The first one that comes to mind is when he was on the Joe Rogan podcast and said that cell phones cause brain tumors, which is obviously not true. Also, he said that they cause brain tumors in your ear. I think he thinks that everyone only uses their phones to call people, so that's interesting, but not the point. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree that cell phones aren't the best for us, but they definitely don't cause brain tumors. While RFK has some good views on the military-industrial complex and the climate crisis, I probably wouldn't vote for him because of some of his kind of weird takes on vaccinations and medical professionals wanting to poison the youth. Okay, so that's it for this video. In a few weeks, I'm going to be releasing another video, which will be talking about everyone running as a Republican, which there's a lot more, so look out for that when it comes out. And that's it for the Democrats and the big independents for this election cycle. I didn't give any of them very much praise. Not expecting me to give the Republicans very much praise because I am of the opinion politicians want to destroy the working class, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, that's it. I hope you liked listening to my video and got some good information about this and maybe are able to make a more nuanced decision on who you're going to vote for. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.